NASA's Europa Clipper will explore an icy moon of Jupiter to see if there are conditions that could support life.
Spacecraft straight into the path of an asteroid traveling at 14,000 miles an hour.
These space discoveries have the scientific community in shock.
NASA launched Parker Solar Probe to touch the sun.
From black holes older than the universe is thought to be, to strange finds out in the darkness of space, who knew our universe held such secrets?
First time NASA has ever collected a sample from an asteroid, and it's the largest retrieved from space since the Apollo moon rocks more than 50 years ago.
Without making you wait, let's look at some of them. Number 1. Voyager 1 resumes. On September 5, 1977, NASA launched the Voyager 1 space probe to get a closer look at our solar system and what's going on with other planets. This piece of engineering was expected to last just 5 years, but it exceeded all expectations by still transmitting useful data after being almost 5 decades away from Earth. From giving us stunning views of Jupiter to revealing secrets about Saturn's rings, in 2012, it became the first human-made object to enter interstellar space, which means it is out of our solar system's boundaries. 14 billion miles away, Voyager 1 showed us that space isn't just an empty void, it's a complex and dynamic environment. It recorded a constant hum, a mysterious sound researchers believe comes from fluctuations in the density and pressure of gases in the interstellar medium. This hum was first recorded when Voyager exited the heliosphere, the bubble-like region influenced by our Sun, and has continued ever since. However, in late 2023, it started sending gibberish signals, worrying NASA. Voyager's data, typically in binary code, wasn't making sense. With the probe so far away, communication takes about 45 hours for a round trip.
We can still send commands to Voyager 1, and it can still execute them, but it cannot tell us if it did so correctly or not.
After 7 months of hard work and code adjustments, engineers got Voyager to send readable messages again. They concluded that the onboard computer was corrupted, possibly due to aging equipment and exposure to cosmic radiation. But what if that gibberish data wasn't just a glitch? Maybe some alien technology tried to communicate with us, or maybe hack Voyager 1. I mean, there are many other explanations more likely than aliens, but it is fun to wonder, right? Number 2. Juno findings. Voyager 1 blessed us with detailed images of Jupiter that have graced science books for years. It revealed secrets about the gas giant, from its geologically active moons to a faint ring system that scientists didn't even know existed. Thanks to these discoveries, NASA developed a better probe to investigate Jupiter. Enter the Juno spacecraft, which left Earth in August 2011.
Finally, in July 2016, after a long journey of 5 years, Juno arrived at Jupiter
and is now orbiting Jupiter and its many moons. Juno's higher resolution images had everyone amazed. It was like the giant planet was a massive canvas with a live painting of vivid colors and stripes. Juno showed us bluish spots never seen before and recorded shallow lightning in the vibrant clouds, sometimes resembling frosted cupcakes. It also investigated the infamous Great Red Spot and discovered Earth-sized storms at Jupiter's north and south poles, which were more violent than we thought. Number 3. Pluto's secrets. Voyager 1 and 2 continue to send useful information from outside our solar system, and soon another space probe, New Horizons, is expected to join them. It was launched to study the very misunderstood Pluto, and after completing the Pluto flyby in 2015, it's now in the Kuiper Belt. New Horizons discovered that Pluto's surface is like the rugged coast of Norway, with icy nitrogen cliffs and giant shards of methane ice as tall as skyscrapers. The dwarf planet has mountains taller than Everest and cracks deeper than the Grand Canyon. While everyone was excited about Pluto and its scientific wonders, nobody expected it to be this beautiful. But that's not all.
Pluto is one of the few objects in our solar system where cryovolcanoes are actively shaping its surface. Water from either the mantle or from pockets of water trapped in the crust erupt over the surface of Pluto, creating a varied landscape.
More analysis from New Horizons data suggests there might be a water ocean beneath Pluto's nitrogen ice, deeper than Earth's crust. This changes everything, because if there's warm enough water, despite the freezing surface temperatures, there could be life. Although it's highly unlikely without sunlight for energy, we still can't rule out the possibility of life inside Pluto. Number 4. Best candidate for life. Voyager 1 made astronomers fall in love with one of Jupiter's largest moons, Europa, when it captured images of its smooth, icy surface with only a few impact craters. The photos also showed ridges and lines crisscrossing Europa's surface, suggesting geological activity beneath its icy shell. Intrigued by this data, NASA sent the Galileo spacecraft to learn more about Europa, Jupiter, and its other moons. When Galileo investigated Europa, it didn't disappoint. More compelling evidence hinted at a subsurface ocean. And guess what? It's likely a saltwater ocean influenced by Jupiter's magnetic field.
The reddish-brown color spread across the cracks and fractures of the moon is believed to be due to salt and sulfur compounds mixing with water ice and then modified by Jupiter's radiation.
Years later, Juno detected significant amounts of hydrogen and oxygen on Europa's surface. So, Europa, once just another moon of a gas giant, took the spotlight thanks to Voyager 1's discoveries. Now, it's considered one of the most promising places to find life beyond Earth in our solar system. Number 5. Sun's corona. Up till now, we've talked about these marvelous spacecraft heading away from the Sun. You might think a flyby around the Sun isn't possible because of the high temperatures, but after leaving Earth in 2018, the Parker Solar Probe made its way into the Sun's atmosphere in 2021 and is currently orbiting the Sun in an oval path.
This is a dream come true. One of the major goals for the Parker Solar Probe mission is to fly through the solar corona, and we are doing that now.
Being this close to the Sun, the probe's gotten really fast. Like crazy fast. It's the fastest thing humans have ever made, zipping along at about 200 kilometers per second. The probe found weird flips in the magnetic field surrounding the Sun, known as switchbacks. These might solve the mystery of why the Sun's atmosphere is over 200 times hotter than its actual surface. The probe also spotted fine details of the fast solar winds and even peeked into their origin, giving us new insights into how the Sun works. So, while the twin Voyagers brave the cold, empty space far from any stars, the Parker probe is getting more daring with each orbit, venturing closer to the burning giant ball. Number 6. Perseverance endeavors. We haven't found life anywhere beyond Earth yet, but we've managed to populate our neighboring planet with robots. Few robots, like Opportunity, are just resting after their final goodbyes, while others like Curiosity are still having adventures.
NASA's Perseverance rover may have made an extraordinary discovery, signs of ancient life on Mars.
The last rover, Perseverance, landed on Mars in 2021, is exploring the red planet to find evidence of life in the past. The rover is also gathering rocks which potentially could be sent back to Earth in future. While wandering in Jezero Crater, which is thought to have been filled with water billions of years ago, Perseverance discovered a type of rock never seen before. This rock, now named Chayava Falls, has bright, colorful spots that could have been produced by microbial life years ago, and mineral veins that could only form if water once flowed through it. This rock is the biggest evidence yet that long ago life might have thrived on Mars. Number 7. To Bennu and back. OSIRIS-REx was the first NASA sample return mission which traveled more than 2 billion kilometers in space to reach an asteroid, Bennu. It spent 2 years mapping its surface, looking for a suitable spot to touch down, collect samples, and leave. Even after 2 years of investigation, astronomers didn't expect Bennu's surface to be this loose. When the probe arm struck the surface, debris started flying everywhere, but the spacecraft managed to gather more than 100 grams of samples.
On September 24th, the spacecraft will approach to nearly 63,000 miles from Earth. It will power up and release its sample return capsule at 4:42 a.m. Mountain Time.
In July 2023, these samples landed on Earth. This is the farthest thing humans have brought back from space, making it a remarkable achievement. Number 8. Boat. In October 2022, a flash so bright it blinded NASA's telescope for a few minutes was detected. This was a gamma-ray burst, a jet of particles coming from a rapidly spinning black hole formed by the collapse of a star.
Matter swirled toward the black hole, and some of it was thrown out along two jets moving near the speed of light. The jets drilled their way out of the star and blasted into space.
While gamma-ray bursts hit Earth every other day, this one was the brightest ever recorded. In 2024, scientists analyzing the data from this gamma-ray burst noticed something never seen before. A few minutes after the burst faded, another emission showed up with an energy level around 12 million electron volts. Scientists already have no idea what goes on inside these jets, and this new twist makes things even more complex. But it's also believed to provide new insights into solving the mystery. Number 9. Alien megastructures. Tabby's star is also known as WTF star because how weird it behaves. The star's brightness takes big dips in an unusual pattern.
Tabby's star had something very different. Some of these dimming events were so extreme that they blocked up to 22% of the star's light, which is much more than any known planet could do.
Some scientists suggested that this could be due to an alien energy-sucking megastructure built around it, while others have debunked this theory, suggesting it might just be a swarm of gas. Recently, 7 more stars have been discovered exhibiting the same behavior. The researchers who found them are convinced these stars are surrounded by Dyson spheres made by super-advanced aliens. If this is true, it would be actual evidence of aliens, and they're way ahead of us. Number 10. Universe's biggest explosion. In 2020, astronomers spotted an explosion far away in the universe and initially thought it might be a supernova.
During one of its routine surveys, the observatory recorded an explosion that they initially labeled as AT2021 LWX.
But years later, when they investigated it, they were shocked. This explosion happened 8 billion years ago and is bigger than our entire solar system. It's shining 2 trillion times brighter than our sun, making it impossible to be a supernova. Turns out this is the aftermath of a supermassive black hole spaghettification of a star that got too close. In 2 years, it released more energy than our sun can emit in 10 billion years. Besides being so massive, another odd thing is that it radiated very brightly for 2 years, while the events of black hole-eating stars usually last about 2 weeks. So this was either one very big star, or we don't understand it yet. Number 11. Oldest black hole. In the summer of 2022, NASA sent a very advanced telescope known as James Webb to check out the universe like never before. Since then, it's been finding super cool stuff that's blowing our minds. One of the most shocking discoveries JSWT made is the existence of a supermassive black hole in the galaxy Sears 1019. This black hole is about 13.1 billion light-years away from Earth, making it the most distant and oldest one we've found yet. And according to current theory, it shouldn't exist. Why? Because the timeline shows it formed less than 1 billion years after the Big Bang, and our understanding says that it should be impossible for a black hole this big. So, our understanding of how quickly galaxies formed in the early universe might be off, and now researchers need to reconsider the whole theory on black holes, galaxy formation timelines, and their growth. Number 12. Signs of alien life. The Kepler Space Telescope has discovered more than 2,500 exoplanets, and one of the most intriguing orbits, a red dwarf called K218. These stars are much cooler than our Sun, so even though the planet K218b is very close to its star, it still exists in the habitable zone. The real excitement about this planet comes from the James Webb Space Telescope. First, JGWST observations hinted at water vapor in the atmosphere of K218b, making it the first exoplanet discovered to have water vapor.
The concentration of water vapor can range from 0.01% to 12.5%, and potentially even up to 50% if other gaseous elements are present.
But then, it found something even crazier. Along with a carbon dioxide and methane-rich atmosphere, there was a molecule called dimethyl sulfide. On Earth, DMS is only produced by life. Number 13. Failed stars. Stars in our universe are massive. Even the smallest type of stars need to be 80 times bigger than the mighty gas giant Jupiter. There are hundreds of billions of stars in our Milky Way alone. But did you know there are also more than 100 billion celestial bodies that started off to become stars but didn't quite make it? These are called brown dwarfs, bigger than Jupiter, but too small to start a fusion reaction in their cores. Brown dwarfs are usually tough to spot because they don't shine like normal stars. They only glow in infrared. But the Webb telescope, equipped with a special infrared camera, identified several free-floating brown dwarfs in the star cluster IC348. 3 of these brown dwarfs weighed less than 8 times Jupiter's mass, and the smallest one is only 3 to 4 times the mass of Jupiter. Finding a brown dwarf this small challenges our understanding of star formation. Number 14. Planetary defense. The great dinosaurs once used to be invincible on our plane, but one big asteroid and they were wiped out. This reminds us that we humans are also very vulnerable to the asteroids and maybe one impact away from extinction. But what if we could defend our planet? NASA is already on it.
Part of a larger collaboration called AIDA, which pulls in all the experts of the world who can help their governments predict.
In September 2022, they deliberately crashed a spacecraft into a moonlet of an asteroid at high speed. This didn't obliterate the asteroid, but it did just enough to change its trajectory. This successful test showed that humans can change the path of asteroids. So in the future, if an asteroid is projected to hit Earth, don't lose hope. NASA might just be able to deflect it and save humanity. Number 15. TESS surveys. In April 2018, NASA launched the TESS telescope to find exoplanets after Kepler went into its final stages.
The Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, TESS, is a NASA-sponsored astrophysics Explorer-class mission that is performing an all-sky survey to search for planets transiting nearby stars.
This system has not 1, but 2 planets in the habitable zone. First, 2I-700d was discovered, followed by 2I-700e. Both planets are just the right distance from their star to have temperatures that could sustain liquid water. This solar system is located only 102 light-years away from Earth, which is super close when you consider the size of the universe. Another interesting thing is that both planets are very similar in size to Earth. Number 16, Jupiter's supremacy. We've talked about tiny brown dwarfs, but what about Jupiter? Could it be one too? I mean, Jupiter is larger than the total mass of all the planets in our solar system and made up of the same stuff as the Sun. But still, it can't really be a failed star.
Jupiter is larger in size, but it does not have enough mass to trigger the process of nuclear fusion and the transformation of hydrogen into helium inside of it.
Though that doesn't mean Jupiter is any less important, it has such a significant impact on our solar system that if you removed all the planets except for Jupiter, our solar system would still exist. Still not impressed? Wait until you hear this. All bodies in the universe orbit each other. The planets in our solar system are so small compared to the Sun that their point of rotation is around the center of the Sun, making it look like we're just orbiting the Sun. But not Jupiter. Its massive size and distance from the Sun makes the point of rotation actually lie outside the Sun. Number 17. Shredding the star. Remember that biggest explosion in the universe? That was the aftermath of black hole engulfing a star. But for the first time in history, NASA recorded a star being destroyed by a black hole. This extraordinary event was captured by the TESS Space Telescope and is known as a tidal disruption event. When an unfortunate object dares to get too close to a black hole, it gets torn apart. The gravity of the black hole doesn't swallow the object whole. Instead, it starts breaking it apart in a process known as spaghettification. The debris forms a disk around the black hole, which gets superheated and starts emitting light, creating the bright halo we see around black holes.
They showed the event's temperature dropped almost 50% in just a few days. Such a steep decrease has never been seen in a tidal disruption before.
While capturing a black hole with its illuminating disk or the energetic jets of radiation bursting out when matter falls inside is common, recording how it starts was a superb achievement. Number 18. Eris and Makemake. Pluto's a dwarf planet, which means it's a sphere because of its gravity, but isn't big enough to clear out debris or other objects in its orbit, and it's not alone. There are more of its kind, mostly in the vast, icy Kuiper belt, billions of miles away from the Sun. These dwarf planets aren't the first candidates scientists consider for geological activity, but Eris and Makemake have surprised everyone. Data from the Webb telescope showed that both worlds had methane, which isn't surprising since Pluto has it too. But the presence of deuterium, an isotope of hydrogen, in the methane shocked everyone.
Methane is lighter than nitrogen but has a vapor pressure significantly lower than the prevailing surface temperatures of Makemake.
This isotope can only be present if the methane comes from a hot environment. Number 19. Young exoplanet. You wouldn't call something 400 million years old young, but when it comes to exoplanets and considering our Earth is 4.5 billion years old, that's still very young. That's why HD 63433d is such an intriguing exoplanet. And did I mention it's just 73 light-years away? It's practically in our solar backyard. This super-Earth exoplanet also orbits a star similar to our Sun, but it can't really host life as we know it because it's 8 times closer to its star than Mercury is to our Sun. Also, based on its orbit, there's a very high chance this planet is tidally locked, which means one side always faces the star while the other stays dark, just like how our moon always shows the same face to Earth. Number 20. Double-faced. Our Sun looks bright orange in the sky. But did you know it won't stay that way forever? A few billion years later, when our Sun runs out of fuel, it will grow into a red giant before collapsing into a white dwarf and starting to cool down. Currently, it's estimated that there are around 10 billion of these white dwarfs, but recently, astronomers found a white dwarf unlike any other. They've nicknamed it Janus, after the Roman god of transition, who has 2 faces because this star also has 2 different faces, one made of hydrogen and the other of helium. Number 21. Protostars. Ever wondered how stars are born? It all starts with a massive cloud of space gas and dust collapsing under its own gravity. As it spins faster and faster, it forms a dense, hot core at the center called a protostar.
Gravity brings matter together. And when you bring matter together and you squeeze things into smaller spaces, they necessarily heat up. It's a simple law of chemistry. You compress something, you drive the temperature up.
Protostars are surrounded by massive clouds and are on their way to becoming full-fledged stars. In these clouds, planets can also form. IRAS 2A and IRAS 23385 are two protostars identified decades ago, but just recently, Webb found something extraordinary: chemicals that you can find in margaritas, vinegar, and ant stings, ethanol, and likely acetic acid. Number 22. Dinkinesh Moon. To study ancient space rocks that follow Jupiter in its orbit around the Sun, NASA launched the Lucy mission, which took off in October 2021. But before it could reach the Jovian asteroids, Lucy spotted another fascinating asteroid in the asteroid belt. The engineers tweaked the mission a bit to make Lucy fly by this asteroid and take some pictures.
During the flyby, Lucy discovered that Dinkinesh has a small moon, which the mission named Selam.
And honestly, that was the best decision they could make, because the pictures from Lucy showed something very unexpected. Number 23. Brimstone on Mars. While Perseverance finding unique rocks have been grabbing all the headlines, its old buddy Curiosity out there on the side of Mars is finding cool stuff too. Curiosity has been exploring the harsh Martian land for more than a decade and has already made interesting finds, from changing quantities of methane in the atmosphere to identifying complex organic molecules preserved in Martian rocks. Recently, it accidentally made a new discovery, all thanks to its heavy weight.
Measurements from other instruments confirmed a sulfur identification. The yellow stuff is pure sulfur rather than sulfur mixed with other elements in a mineral, like gypsum, for example.
Number 24. The future. Let's talk about a few exciting things NASA has planned. The Voyager twins, Galileo, and Juno have all provided significant data about Europa. With every new piece of information, Europa has made scientists more excited, so NASA is finally sending a mission in October 2024 to determine if Europa has the conditions to support life. The salty ocean of Europa is believed to be bigger than Earth's oceans combined, so it will be thrilling to see what more the Europa Clipper reveals. Moon return. The last time humans set foot on the Moon US and USSR were still going at each other in the Cold War, and someone born that year would be older than half a century now. But things are changing. The Artemis program is projected to send humans back to the lunar surface. In 2022, the first aircraft of the project with no crew did a flyby of the moon to collect valuable data, and it was a success. In late 2025, a crewed spaceship will do a moon flyby. They won't touch down, but they'll get a really good look at it. If that goes well, the next step is to actually land people on the moon again, including the first woman and person of color to do it. Which one of these discoveries do you find most shocking? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon so you get notified each time we post a video just for you. Thank you for watching.